Hello, James. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate you. And James, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, my man, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. James, you are on this platform right now because you did invest it in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. Some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, James, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. Excuse me. But James, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did. And it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes now, James. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing James that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruits of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions, James. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, my man, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things James is doing. And not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the incredible James. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself, my man. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
Absolutely. And your example is amazing because the people that I work with, I totally feel like, hey, they're this tree that's not bearing fruit. The branches are not happy. They're unfulfilled. And when you could get someone that can take and open a business of their own and have that freedom in their lives and having something that working for themselves, then I really think and believe that it's much like the tree.
Hmm.
Now, hey, the tree's happier, it's getting water, the branches are filling out, and it's providing more shade for people. So
Hmm.
it really is a very good illustration that you used of how
Thank you.
working with my clients that helps once they get into business ownership.
Beautiful, my man. Thank you so very much. I love that. Hmm. Shade. That's a great one. I love that. So, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, James, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, James, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And my man, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible James on the show is for the sake of the audience. My man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, James, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how James got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, James, over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And what a great illustration. So, my career in my story was I was in the restaurant business for 25 years, working in corporate America and doing really good. I'd worked my way up from, a general manager to regional manager and was, I'm just okay. But then a company called, Apology, they were a company that was just starting out. They said, hey, come help us run our franchise side of and support our franchisees. I thought, wow, what a great opportunity this was. So I started with that company when they had one store. We built that up to over 100 within about 3 years. And
Wow.
my role there was working with franchisees in the system and supporting them, as well as working with corporate, being the liaison, helping corporate with systems. So you could imagine there was often times that we switched on a dime and had to change procedures and ever from being a very young company growing to 100. But then the biggest thing, which I would say was, the water for my tree, that where I could produce fruit, was the largest franchisee of Biology said, hey, come work for us and partner with us. And they were happened to be owned by two NFL football players that were there. So I immediately joined them. We had our restaurants. We did another franchise called a ice cream franchise. We had our own coffee shop concept and then a cookie dough concept that
Wow.
we did. So it was very just learning everywhere. Then we were doing really great. And then one of the brothers, he retired from the NFL. And then the other brother got hurt, couldn't fulfill the end of his contract. But what they wanted to do, they had always had in their family a heritage of tequila that was in the family and tequila, producing tequila. So that's kind of what they wanted to go into. And they asked me to join them. Don't have anything against tequila. It's just, it's not my forte. So I just said, let's just sell off, go our own ways. And I was deciding what to do. And I remembered when I was with Biology and helping build that company, there were a lot of franchisees that were in that system that probably shouldn't have been in there and maybe didn't get the right coaching or given the knowledge of, hey, there's so many franchises out there. Let's help pick that. And I saw that, they were miserable because they were working, they had no idea what the job was going to entail and owning a restaurant, what that entails, which I don't recommend unless you have restaurant experience for sure. So that's how I got to where, I'm going to help people find franchise systems that are out there. I have over 400 franchises in my inventory. I help match people to franchises. We talk about solutions that are out there, franchises that are out there, and I show them different options and then introduce them to the franchisor and stay with them during the whole time to make sure it's a great match. So that's kind of a overview, kind of what I do in my journey. And so I just wanted to give you that background and insight.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's very fulfilling because it is much like taking that person that is in 9 to 5, corporate world that has to get out of it to improve their family life or have more time, or the athlete that's done playing of, still experiencing the crowd cheering. So very good illustration you have and a great parallel.
Thank you so very much, James. And I've got to say this, you've got great brain. How you multiply things and not the spirit of productivity. I love it. And that's really awesome. So while you were talking, you mentioned NFL, all right? So how is the sports business similar to franchising and making money?
Yeah. So what's great about the sports business into franchising? So when a player's done, the cheering stops. It's over, right? The crowd's not there. Now the player's going, okay, what do I do? Well, in the franchise world, it's great to get into a franchise business and own that business. And why is that a great parallel for a athlete? Is because in the franchise world, the franchisor provides a playbook here's how you run the business. We're going to help support you and coach you, but here's the playbook follow this playbook. We'll give you ongoing support and we'll mentor you how to do this business. We'll introduce you to our franchisees, and they'll be like your teammates, helping you produce that, the results you're after. Or if you're down, they're going to help you. So it really helps with athletes because they're used to, one, betting on themselves their whole lives and able to take the risk of business ownership. Two, it helps them because they are used to following the playbooks and systems and taking coaching, constructive criticism, and that they're used to doing that. So, and then building that business up, it could be very rewarding and is a great thing to do post retirement. And when you think of franchising, you think of restaurants. It's a whole different ball game. It could be a
Mm.
cleaning business. It could
Ooh.
be an HVAC system. It can be an indoor golf studio. It could be
Wow.
even a franchise that's teaching kids how to play sports. So it's many different things, but you can also own more than one. You could do multiple locations if you want it after you're doing really well. So there's many different layers that you can do in franchising. Much like an athlete can build his career up, he can build his business up through franchising.
Amazing. And I got that. So what about this one? What red flags should people watch out for in franchise opportunities?
Well, the red flag, that's a great question because the red flags in the franchise world and franchising, it really comes down to, I would always suggest finding someone to work like me because when I work with my clients, I don't charge them anything. I get paid much like a real estate agent. I get paid on the back end commission of when they're awarded a franchise. So, and they don't pay any higher fees or anything. So it makes sense to work with someone like me. And the red flags are, you have to do your investigation. Just because, let's just say, hey, I love this franchise because I think that dog grooming's great. I love the franchise, and that's what I want to do. Well, you got to investigate it because you have time to investigate it. Someone like me is going to help you do that. But talk with the franchisor. Make sure that you're going to get great support. Talk with franchisees in the system. You have that opportunity. Talk to franchisees. Would you do this again? Did you get great support doing this? Are they helping you build a business? So the red flags are you have to do your homework and research and do a lot of discovery of into the franchise before you find it's a great fit for you.
Doing your homework. I got that. Okay, so let's talk about the biggest fear that people have, all right? So what is the biggest fear people have about franchising?
I think really the biggest fear that people have is the fear of the unknown and the fear of,
Hmm.
hey, if I go from my 9 to 5 job and I start this business, I
Hmm.
don't know if I should do that. So it really is overcoming that first fear. Athletes, they're used to doing that. They bet on themselves. They're like, yeah, I can do this. 9 to 5 people in a comfortable job with a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's hard to say, wow, I don't know if I can do this or not. And I would just remind them, well, you're looking at starting a business for a reason. That reason is probably because you're unfulfilled in some area of your life of what you're doing. So, you can stay and be unfulfilled and not try to take a leap of faith or of even searching out franchises and seeing if it's fit for you. And that's okay. But I would always suggest, and what I always tell people is, anybody who is in business for themselves or entrepreneur, I think if you had asked them if they came from a regular job, that they would say, I wish I would have done this sooner and taken a chance on myself and done it. And because of all the freedom that you have, and it's your business and you're working for yourself. It's an amazing feeling.
It's an amazing feeling. I got that. And you just even helped me see this franchising so differently because I used to think franchising is all about fast food. So for folks who think like I do, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, it's all different industries. I mean, really, it's from dog grooming to. I have a client that it's a very interesting franchise that's looking at this franchise right now. She hasn't signed with them yet, but doing discovery where they clean jets. of airplanes, and it's an amazing different. You would never think that was a franchise, right? There's retail stores of clothing stores that's there.
Wow.
There is dumpster rental store, franchises. There's preschools that are franchises. I'm working with several clients looking at opening up preschools. And why do they love to do that? Because they were teachers or in education. They want to give back to the kids. And they also know that in a preschool, it's always going to be filled if they do it right, because there's always going to be a need for it. It's basically recession proof. So, that's a really good industry to get into, as well as there's automobile of window tinting, something very simple as window tinting. I could go on and on talking about the possibilities of franchising. I would just say, when you're out driving and you see trucks go by you, they're
Mm,
probably a franchise, or
wow.
the businesses. A lot of them are franchise owned.
Amazing. I never knew that. That's beautiful. So we have two more to go. So for folks who are wanting to leave corporate America, what advice do you have for them?
I would say, do it. That's the hardest one. Do it, or at least look into it, because what you want to do is at least look into
Mm,
making sure that it's a great fit. Now, qualifications, typically they have to have about $50,000 in liquid cash. Okay, that's something they typically have to have, that's there, and you could get that by. So I've had clients doing a HELOC of their home, taking a second out on their home to start a business. Another great one for people that are in the 9 to 5 corporate world is, hey, I don't have that cash. Well, if you have a 401k, you do have that cash, and you can roll that over into your business. Because I would guarantee you that a business is going to last. If you owned a business and you're running this business and you retire, your business is going to still generate that income. Your 401k is going to do that too, but your business is going to be unlimited, generating income that you could grow that too, where you could do a second or third franchise as well as there's SBA loans. So there's many different ways to get the capital that's required to get a franchise. You can get a loan to do that. So that there are opportunities out there, and really it is get the have that ability to say, yes, I want to do this and move forward, but then research all the franchise industries and work with someone like myself that can show you what's out there, and just to explore and do your homework.
just explore and do your homework. I got that. So let's look at your approach finally, all right? So how do you help people pick the right franchise from hundreds of options?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So we
Thank
really
you.
basically will talk about investment level. What are you happy with? You happy looking at a franchise, 100,000, 200,000? What is the dollar figure we're looking at? What's your goal? Are you looking to be an owner operator where you're going to be in the business 24/7? Or maybe you want to keep your job, and we look for a franchise that's semi passive, where you could hire a family member to do the job, or a good friend. That's also an option. So we talk about like options. What are the goals? Are you looking to, you know, are you looking to do multiple units at one time, to where maybe you build generational wealth? So talk about the options that are out there. And then we talk about every industry. So we go through all the industries of, like automotive. Would that interest you? Would you be interested in the sports, different franchises of indoor golf simulator business, or, teaching kids how to play sports? Are you interested in dog grooming? So we go through all these industries. Oftentimes people will come and say, James, I know what I want. I want to look at this business. And that's what we do. We look at this business and we focus on it. And, we see where that takes us. So then what happens is I'll show them maybe 5 to 10 different options. They'll pick maybe one or two, say, hey, I love this dog grooming business. And you know what? I know nothing about HVAC and air conditioning, but I think that's a great business because everybody always fixes their air when it's broke. So I want to look at those two. So then I introduce them to the franchisor, and the franchisor is talking to them much like we're talking now, about how they're going to help support and what they're going to do, and everything. And I help them through that journey. The franchisor will send out an FDD, which will have the fees that are in there, have all the franchisees listed, to where I say, hey, you have the opportunity to validate and talk with these franchisees. So the client will do their homework. We help them with that of talking with franchisees, talking with the franchisor, learning more about the business and having more meetings to learn more and dive deeper. Then there's something that's called a discovery day where they go out and meet everybody on the team, either in person or virtually, all the way up to, signing. So it is takes a while for the process to play out, but it should, because that's your homework. You're validating with people, and you're making sure it's a really great fit all the way up to your signing. So I'm usually involved in some aspect of that, of helping coach the clients that want that. Some clients say, "Hey, James, I got this," but I'm still there going, "Hey, how's it going? Do you have any questions? How's it going?" And all the way up to where they sign. So they never, I mean, they can use me as much as they want after they talk with the franchisor, as little as they want. But my whole goal is to kind of, here's some really great options for you, and then introduce them and help them, make that decision.
Amazing. I tell you, you're doing so much, and this is so beautiful. Now I see why you're so good at what you do. I'm going to take that
Thank you.
as a final thought. Okay, James, so for folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, or even, require the need your service, how can that be possible?
Yeah, they can go to my website, thefrandream.com, or James at the FranDream. Drop me an email, just send me a line, and I'm happy to respond of any questions on the franchise world, and just would love to talk.
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It's really a great gift. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're really inspiring, and you've made my day coming on the show.
Awesome, my man.